first off the bat, we have well, it's not really a question, but it comes from this lovely man here. And he was saying that I got my helicopter last month, checked all the screws, and 2 of the 3 were loose. So he was just pointing out that, that they do come loose. Lovely, lovely guy. And he just said all the best to you and your family. So that's from that lovely guy. I think it's in Wales in the UK. Okay, here's another guy, and he said basically, it really motivates me, Eamon, to check my screws on my helicopter. So thanks very much for that. And here's another channel. He came on and he said, you're one lucky, lucky man. And of course he said, make sure that you tighten all the screws. Lovely guy, really, really nice guy. And he said that the angels must have been with you, or the prayer of the helicopter gods were with you. That's what he said. Okay, this guy, DJ R.C. 1960. I was born in 1963, by the way. But absolute gentleman. And he said, the angels must have been with you on that flight. And he said, I was so lucky that I didn't go into the water. Of course, if I went into the water, it would have been game over for me. That's certainly true. And he has the Bell 206. And he checks all his screws before he goes flying. But of course, people are forgetting that not everyone would check the tail rotor, because, you don't expect the tail rotor to fall off. It's not that heavy or anything like that. But yeah, what an absolute legend that guy was. And here's another guy anyway, and he just said, I'm so happy that you didn't lose your bird or your helicopter. Thanks very much for that. Don't worry, it's going to get more interesting as we go along. I'm just going through all the messages and questions that have been sent to me by the video. Okay, here's a guy, I think his first name is Simon, and he says to me, in the last video, he says to me, you would think ready to fly meant ready to fly. Always good to have a full checkout. And yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Simon. They are ready to fly, because ready to fly really means that they've put all the bits and pieces in, so you don't have to make the helicopter up yourself. All you have to do is put on the blades, so that's what they mean by ready to fly. And you're absolutely right. A full checkout normally I would do, and I normally do. I mean, I check everything, but I just didn't think about the tail rotor. And that's what happened. It caught me out. I was caught with my trousers down, guys, and really and truly never thought for 1 minute that the 3 Allen screws that are in the tail rotor would actually come loose and pop out in flight. So thanks for that quotation, Alan. Sorry, Simon. And here's a guy called John, and he's big into R.C. I know that for a fact. I'm pretty sure I've subscribed to your channel. But John, really, really nice guy. Very pleased to hear there was no real damage done. And I was afraid it was going to be wrecked, and how much you loved your helicopter. Thank you so much, John, for your kind words. Okay, this guy, absolute gentleman again. He explained to me that he had a helicopter, an EAMON'S 120S, a micro helicopter, and he nearly went blind because I think the blades hit his face. And he's still traumatized after it. So he's just saying, look, please be careful, Eamon. he says that take it serious, don't be yoking or messing around. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm really, really sorry to hear about your problem, and I'm really sorry to hear that you got injured by the blades. Thanks be to God that you didn't lose your eyesight. You also say that you have 4 deep scars on your hand from the rest, for the rest of your life. I beg your pardon, and I'm really sorry to hear about that. I really am. Look, I don't mess around with them. Maybe I'm a little bit too brave because I've been around helicopters and planes since 1977. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen to me. It can happen to anyone. And yes, an absolute valid point. Please be very careful around the blades because, you know, like mine is a 450 size. His scars were caused by a micro helicopter, and yeah, you really have to be careful. And I may look like I mess around with, I may mess around, you know, being very close to the blades or whatever. But I suppose in a roundabout way, I would know what I'm doing, but still, they're very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And I'm really sorry to hear about your injuries. And thank you for the heads up on that. God bless to you. And I hope that it doesn't put you off flying helicopters or planes. And here is a great friend of mine, D-Man 52 Drones. Check out his videos. Lovely, lovely guy. Lovely, lovely guy when he's asleep. But anyway, he just said to me that I was very lucky not to lose the, not to lose the helicopter, and especially over water. So thanks so much, my friend. Great to hear from you, and thanks for your support. And here is D. Hopman. What a great, great guy, an absolute legend. He supported me an awful lot when I lost my Bebop 2 drones in my last channel, which was the Rolex drone channel, just in case you thought this was my first channel. But absolute gentleman. Send me 2 or 3 free drones, Bebop 2, and what a guy, an absolute legend. And he said a little blue Loctite would help and do the trick, Eamon. So I never heard about blue Loctite. I know I have Loctite here. Is that the same thing? Is that the super glue, guys? Or is it a different glue? So there's a question for you. Is the blue Loctite a different glue to the super glue? That's the question. I'll probably have to look it up on Google anyway. Thank you so much, my friend. God bless to you and your family. You're an absolute legend. Here's another lovely guy here, came on and said, Eamon, every screw and nut that has metal-to-metal contact should have thread lock on the threads, like Loctite Blue 242. I really have to look that up, and thank you so much for that information. Okay, another lovely guy came on and said, always check everything before maiden flight. Loctite is your friend. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for coming on and supporting the channel. Okay, so it's getting interesting now. We had this lovely gentleman as well. Very, very nice gentleman came on and said, Eamon, have you got a GoPro to stop the shaking of the camera? No, I don't. And, okay, if Flywing was sending me helicopters to try out or to talk about them, I would invest in a GoPro. But really and truly, my camera is my phone and it's strapped to my head. And that's really it. That's all I have, guys. I don't have maybe what the professional channels have. I don't have what Captain Drone has. He has a great setup. He has professional cameras. He's GoPros. He's all sorts of different things. He excuse me. He even has a DJI Mini 4 circling the helicopter as he does it. So he's a professional, should we say, assessor of these goods, and yeah, a lot of people, including Flywing and Banggood and all the rest of them, send him free helicopters, and like that's okay if you're doing it professionally. Great, you'll invest in proper cameras, but you know, at the present moment, it's an unmonetized channel, and I have no interest in monetizing it. I did have a reasonably big channel before this called the Rolex Drone channel, and I was, well, just let's put it this way, when YouTube decided to change its way on how people would see the videos and that, my channel went in the bin. And I can tell you there was big channels out there that just lost their platform overnight. You know, they were put to the back of the room like everyone else when YouTube decided to change its way on how to get people to see your channel. So that's gone. Yeah, I would love to have a GoPro, but really and truly, like, I just started this channel for the love of the hobby. I don't really have the funds or the finance to go out and buy a GoPro or get into it in a big way, or start buying loads of helicopters and telling you how good they are and how bad they are. All I can do is tell you my experience. So no, I don't have a GoPro. So, and thank you for your support. Okay, another lovely man came on to me and said, I think you are lucky, for the tail rotor fell off in flight 1 foot above the ground. Yes, I was very fortunate, but believe it or not, I've seen helicopters destroyed 1 foot from the ground, and the a mess that a helicopter can get into just 1 foot from the ground, you wouldn't believe it. You know, it can strip servos, strip the main cogwheel, bend the main feathering shaft. You wouldn't believe it, but yeah, I'm a lucky man. Thank you so much for that comment. Okay, so this gentleman came on and said to me, I'm new in the hobby, or I want to get into helis. And he was asking me about the 2 blades and the 4 blades. Okay. And he also asked me, he said, because Flywing has brought out a new Bell Huey, would the other Huey be at a good price? So the one that I have, I got from Banggood, and they do the best price, believe it or not, but they don't do the 4-blade system. AliExpress has the 4-blade system separate, if you want to buy it separate from the helicopter and fit it yourself, or you could buy the helicopter with the 4-blade system on it, and that's on AliExpress, but you're going to pay that little bit extra. What else did you say to me here? Just looking. Yes, the navigation lights. Everyone asks me this. You can get them on AliExpress. That's where I got mine. Apparently, you can get them on Amazon, but I'm not a member of Amazon. And you can get them on AliExpress. And I got, what did I get? I got 3 lights. And basically, they stick on the self-adhesive on the back of the lights, and you can recharge them with the little recharger cable that they give you, and you might have to recharge two of them because the cable won't reach to the front of the helicopter, so you might recharge the two at the back first and then the one at the front. That's what I do anyway. You get around about 2 flights out of them, and then you have to recharge them because they get very dull, or sometimes they just don't work. But they're great. So you get them on AliExpress, and you can get like 1 or 3 or 2, or you can get 4 or 5 or 6. They do them in different numbers. Let me see. Yeah, I painted my helicopter. My helicopter is lightly customized by myself. I think it just makes it pop, and I wanted to do a kind of rescue team because it says quick reaction force on it, and then it has insurance company names on it on the side, and which Flywing put on. So I kind of put two and two together, and I reckon it was a kind of oil rig kind of helicopter, for rescue or something like that. So I went down that road, and that's what I did with mine. And of course, the big stickers that I have on mine, I got from the United States of America on eBay. So that's really it. I hope that you get into the helicopter. Don't be put off with, my videos. I'm just telling people my experience with my helicopter from a day-to-day point of view. So thank you for your comment. Okay, we had this gentleman just previous, and I thought, well, we'll just put up what he said, basically, and he said, please use Loctite on the screws from now on. So thank you very much for that. Okay, second last person, and he says, this is Paul. Glad helicopter is okay. You need to work on the camera skills. You say, look at what you're talking about, but all we could see is the dirt. Okay, so I was just talking about that, Paul, earlier on. So basically, it's all very well if you have a lot of money. I'm in retirement because of health issues, and I have to work with what I have, and that's my phone. So it's strapped to my head, and basically, Paul, sometimes if I move the camera down too much, I won't get the helicopter in the sky correctly. If I move it up too much, then I'm not going to get the ground right. So it's a double-edged sword, really. I can't really do both, but I do my best. People say it's very shaky. For what I do, it's not bad. I think that the camera shots are not bad for what I do. I can't afford a GoPro. It's not that I have every helicopter maker sending me free helicopters. I mean, if that was the case, I could invest in a GoPro and do a professional channel and talk about the helicopters, but I don't get any freebies or anything like that. So really, at the end of the day, I'm on a very, very tight budget being in retirement because of illness. But thank you for your comment. Okay, so I said this was the second last one, just previous, but a few more have actually come in on the phone, so I'll include them in the video as I'm making it now. This is a lovely man, an absolute gentleman, absolute top of the human chain, and he says to me, only an idiot carries on flying when they know something is not right. Land immediately and find out what's wrong. R.C. helicopters can be dangerous in the wrong hands, and yours are. Well, thank you, Frank, for that. You're such a gem of mankind. I could hear something going on, but I wasn't sure if my ears were playing up on me. I didn't know whether the helicopter was in trouble or not. I had full control of it, so I didn't think that there was anything major going on. And it was only near the end that I realised that the sound was getting louder and louder, and that's when it came into land. Um, I've been into model helicopters and aeroplanes. I started as a little boy in 1977, so I'm self-trained. I do take security very, very serious, whether that's a drone, whether it's a plane, whether it's a helicopter. There was no one around except two people turned up near the end, but they were quite a distance away. And of course, she was coming into land at that stage. I don't fly around people. I don't try not to fly around trees. I know I have trees in my own garden. I definitely will not fly if there's people around me. So thanks for calling me an idiot. You're an absolute gem of humanity, and God bless to you. Okay, here's another lovely man. He just came on and he said to me, he said, please, what is the model of the tail motor ESC? Now, the only thing, the quickest answer to give you on that is that my Flywing Huey is the Phi-4 model. It's not the Phi-3 or the Phi-2 or the Phi-1. It's the Phi-4 model. So as they went along, they changed the ECG, or sorry, I beg your pardon, the ESC, and they changed I think they changed the GPS as well. So my model is the Phi-4. So it's the Huey, Flywing Huey Phi-4. Thank you for your question. Okay, this is the second last one, and it's only after coming in. It's from Old Bones Drone Pilot. Check out his channel. He's a lovely, lovely guy. I don't know whether he's making videos. I think he is. But check out his channel. He's a lovely guy. His name is Mike, actually. Mike, how you doing? Mike, I just read all your script or your text that you have to sending me. And one of the things that you came up with, and no one has asked this, but do you think this was the reason on the takeoff that it started acting like it had no GPS mode? And I have a feeling that that could have probably been it, because it seemed to be all over the place. Now, my 3D skills, as I always tell people, are not the best. I can do a little bit, but I'm not great at it. And that's why I've gone back into the helicopters, because they now have the GPS. But I came up with that helicopter, and it had GPS lock, and it was all over the place at the beginning of that video. And I thought, ah, here we go, this is going to go into the ground. And I was using pretty much my 3D skills, which are very poor, just to control that helicopter. And then when I did get kind of control of it, I realised the navigation lights went on, and I landed it, and then I started all over again. But you're absolutely right. I think that was the beginning of it. I think that the tail was loose. I mean, the screws were loose. I mean, looking at it, it looked like the screws were fine. But you see, this is the problem. They go through the fuselage, and then they come out the other side, and then there's 3 screws that goes into the rotor or the motor, and they kind of lock themselves, basically. They have little tiny washers on them, but really and truly, you know, I think Loctite is the only way forward, and I'm going to look up to see what Loctite the other guys are using, because I can't afford to have another mad situation like this. But you're absolutely right, Mike. I think that was the start of it, when she first took off and she was all over the place, and I was going, what the hell is going on? and I landed her, and I started it off again, and it seemed to be okay. But if you go over the video, you notice that the helicopter does a few things before it starts making noise. It starts to kind of like drop from the sky slightly. It starts to react as if it's in 3D. And you can hear me saying, "Oh, what's that about?" And yeah, sometimes I'm pushing this, I'm pushing the stick in a certain way, the two sticks in a certain way, as if I'm flying it in 3D. So I would imagine that was the tail rotor, Mike. Mike, thanks very much. You're an absolute fabulous, fabulous friend to have. And thank you for your comment. God bless to you and your family. Okay, the very last one, as I was recording this video, and this is from a gentleman who says to me, "You are asking if we can see it, and of course we can't because your cam was on the beach nearly the entire video." Now, that's a bit unfair, isn't it? I understand what you're saying. I didn't get the end piece in correctly to show you the tail off. You do get a clip of it, probably at the very end, but the entire video, no. The entire video, you can see the helicopter going past. Well, I suppose it gets back to the GoPro again, doesn't it? I don't have GoPro. I don't have the funds or the money to do it. I'm in retirement because of health issues. The shots they do get, I think they're okay. They're not, super, super GoPro shots, but I think they're okay. They show the helicopter flying past, they show the helicopter landing or whatever. It does the job. Like I said, if Flywing was sending me free helicopters to try out, then I would save up and get a GoPro and do a professional shot of the helicopters. But, when you have everything against you, whether it's finance or whether it's life or whether it's, buying your own helicopter, or when you're, relying on what you have, you do your best. You do your best, and you do it for fun, and you're not in it for the money, and you're not in it for, to have a big channel or have everyone clicking onto you all the time. And yeah, I think that's a little unfair that the camera was on the ground all the time. Near the end I was trying to show you it, but you see, I can't see into the camera because it's actually in the top of my head, and I think I've explained that in the other questions. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's quite long, I know that. But there's the questions and the answers and the texts that people gave me, and I've done my best to answer everything. I managed to put my motor back, my rotor, should I say, or my backtail motor, back on for the time being. I only have 2 screws. I've tested it out. Everything seems to be working fine. I have to get another screw, and of course I have to get the proper Loctite to try and stop this from happening again. Don't give up on the hobby. My experience, really, at the end of the day, is not so bad. It's interesting. It's not just another helicopter that has taken off and there it is sitting in the garden, floating around, hovering. I try to make the videos a little more interesting. But there you go anyway. Thanks very much for all your support. God bless to you and your family. Bye-bye from now. Bye-bye.